middle of the day. I won't be offended if you leave, because I know that there's not a lot riding on these comments that I'm about to make. That said, I will speak. I'll keep it short, and then I'll stay afterwards if people have questions. So I'm Ann McCullough-McCaig. I'm your village president. When I ran 3 years ago after being village trustee since 2013, I ran because I really felt like we were at a critical moment. We had a board that was really struggling to function. We had staff that was on the edge of burnout. We had major infrastructure, everything that's been talked about here today that I knew from being on the board had been deferred and sort of leaned away from. And even though we had made incredible advancements on planning and designing and making use of borrowing to make things happen, we had a lot waiting for us. And I really felt like I had the knowledge and the skill and the passion and the leadership experience to help us move from where we had been into a stronger place. And now I'm running for a second term because 3 years wasn't enough. We really stabilized. We really have caught up with all our deferred business. We have leaned into the difficult things that have been sort of the infrastructure that has been aging while we've been doing other things. And now we're at a place where it's unavoidable. So everything is past its useful life. Water mains, lead laterals, now we have federal mandates. And so now the previous boards of the 15 years had done great work, but we had some wiggle room. We could prioritize things. Now everything's a priority. And we have to keep moving ahead. We need steady leadership, we need clear leadership, and we need compassionate leadership because everything that we do is compromise. I'm thrilled that we have a board that reflects the community. You can see that in our votes. We have unanimous votes, but many of our votes are not unanimous. Sometimes things pass, sometimes things fail, sometimes it's 6-1, 1-6, 4-3, 3-4, 5-2, and that's the way the process is going to work. I look at my job as to work with staff to build agendas that keep moving us forward, but to provide the information to all of our board members because I know what questions they're going to ask. And then when we don't have the right information and questions get asked, to make sure we have the information the next time. That's a lot of the stuff that we do behind the scenes. My job isn't to control things from getting on the agenda. It's to make sure they get on the agenda, that we do the work that we need to do, and that we take a vote. If it passes, great. If it doesn't pass, then we've decided, and we move on to the next thing. So there's due diligence with that. I get one vote. There is nothing that I can do on my own except appoint police commissioners. And so to be in that, I'm not a mayor, but so those are the things that I'm really, we talked about all the initiatives and everything that's going on in the village earlier today, so I don't need to mention those, but I could talk about them for hours because I absolutely love it. I think everyone can understand the mechanics of public finance, ordinance, policy, and everyone deserves to understand that. And so I can always make time to explain what we're doing, explain why something's not happening, explain what happened, why it didn't pass, why it did pass, why people disagree. My only ground rule is that we deal with the same set of facts and that no one's a punching bag for each other. The one thing that we can control is how we talk to each other, how we check ourselves in terms of what we expect from one another, and how we share with the over 13,000 people that live in this community. So I'm from a big family. I don't know about you guys, but I know that not everybody gets their way, that most things are compromised, and most of the time we have to wait our turn. And every single day in this village, somebody is waiting their turn. And somebody is working as hard as they possibly can to deliver the services that we're the only ones who deliver these services. Even if we outsource them, we still have to deliver the services and make sure that they happen. So I'm just gonna stop there, and take a breather to see, oh, and if you need to know about me, you can read Shorewood today. This is very good timing. But I also think that it was a pleasure. It wasn't my idea to do this story, but I'm so glad that we did, because we have a team that's in place right now. And it's not that we haven't had great teams before. We have no shortage of leadership and talent and skill and commitment in this village. It's an embarrassment of riches, truly. But I am proud to be working with these women, and we have partnerships in place that we have never had in place before. So the other thing I love about being president that I didn't know when I was a trustee is that I am sort of the face of the village in our external partnerships. So whether it's North Shore Consolidated Services, or it's the Intergovernmental Cooperation Council, which is all the mayors and presidents in Milwaukee County, whether it's the county executive or the mayor of Milwaukee or our alderman buddy to the south of us, those are the relationships that I get to cultivate and I get to lean on and draw on. And we've brought in resources and opportunities that our village manager has jumped on immediately. So we have, some of the trustees talked about, it would be great to do this. A lot of those things we already are doing, and our two current incumbents were modest because they haven't been passed yet, but we are submitting a grant for a shared sustainability coordinator across many municipalities because we can't afford our own. And we are leveraging grant dollars with the County Department of Transportation, with other municipalities. I pledge that I will always bring information back of how we can do things differently, and I will bring it to the board for a vote. I will always listen to new information. That's part of my job, whether it's consolidation, and I will always tell you the truth of what we can do and what we can't do. And I'll own whether it's my opinion or whether it's actually legality, So that's some of my excitement about doing a second term, and I thank the community, and I thank my colleagues on the board for the subtle endorsement by not running against me. So there are lots of people that don't agree with me, there are people that don't like me, but I must be doing a good enough job compromising and listening, because I am standing here today offering remarks as a candidate who's running unopposed. And so I'm going to take that as a vote of confidence and keep doing what I'm doing, and also keep working together.
All right.
I will say